Page 42, Moonlight Sonata Theme. This is the theme from the first movement of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. I did a recording, I believe, on this on my other channel. If I did, I'll try and put a link in the description. You'll find all kinds of recordings of this. This is gorgeous. This arrangement, and it is an arrangement, is in the key of D minor. I know that because the original, the way Beethoven wrote it, is actually in the key of C sharp minor. It's got 4 sharps, but D minor works. We can do this. This is fine. Point is, it's a minor key. In the right hand, we have these triplets going. Slowed at 4/4 time here. So it's 1 and 2 and remember counting triplets, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and or you want to go triple, however. So it's 1 and 2. Now those little curved lines, those are not slurs. They're not phrases. They're not ties. They're simply part of the triplet indication. Some publishers, when they indicate triplets, they have the 3 and the little curved line to group the notes together. Other publishers, they just put in a 3 and no curved line. It doesn't matter. It's a triplet. So you don't link them together. It's just telling you they're triplets. In other words, they don't affect how you play the music here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and this is a slow piece. Second line, I prefer to do a 2 on the B flat, and then a 2, 4, 5 for the B flat, E flat, and then a 1. Remember that C sharp at the beginning of that measure? This is the second measure, second line. It applies all the way through, so that last C at the end, that's a C sharp also. Now, the fingering wise on that the second measure, second line, their fingering is fine if you want to use that. It's fine. I don't quite use that fingering, but it doesn't matter. As long as it's comfortable for you and you can play it all legato, that's what counts. And then in the next line, whatever you play that D with, put the thumb on it. So substitute the thumb for whatever you had. And then we go on here. This is the melody here. All that prior to this is introduction. It's just setting the tone. This is where it starts. With 5/3. I like to use different fingers on repeated notes, but they have a 3. I'm tempted to do a 3-1-3-1 back and forth. Doesn't matter. I just like to use different fingers on repeated notes. It's just, to me, it's safer, especially if you get nervous. In other words, you're intentionally making it a little harder on yourself, because when you get nervous, you have a better chance of actually doing it right because you've worked on it and got there. I know that sounds crazy, but it works. 4th line down, and then it B flat, and then the last measure of the 4th line. The melody's the top note. Bring it out if you can. And I would play in the last line on page 42. I'd play that half note with index finger. I'll get there. Give me a moment. Because you're using 1 and 5 on the note before. So just index finger. And then you have a wrist so you can move up. And again, I would alternate 3-1 here. At the top of page 43, it's whatever you play the half note on, put the thumb on it. Substitute the thumb. And then go on. Again, the melody is the top note. Bring that one out. And then second line, E flat, and then C sharp, and then here. And then back to the triplets. Because then the left hand gets the melody. And so the right hand is back to the triplets. Now in the 3rd line down on page 43, I would finger that C sharp with second finger. So it's 2. But you can do 1-4-5. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just by using second finger, I don't have to have my hand up here. And then going on, the second measure, you have triplets, but it's an 8th rest on the first note. So rather than playing a note, you think play the note, just rest. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, because your bass clef on the last line, 1 and then softly at the end, and that's the right hand. Left hand is going to help out, and it's really soft for the most part till toward the end when it gets the melody. So here at the beginning, very soft. I mean, the whole thing is soft, but keep the left hand down. And you just follow along. Second line. Left hand here at the end of the second line, go ahead and lift up and move up. So you're in position. Don't need to do that. What you can do is simply play this chord, or finger this chord. It's a D minor chord, second inversion, extended position, and that's all we're going to do. So you're here, then for the first triplet there on the third line, I'm going to finger 3, 2, 1, and then 5, 3. So I can connect it all with the hands, and from here and then here. And that works out fine. And make sure you keep these triplets in the left hand soft, because now we're into the piece melody. Now again, the rhythm here between the two hands. This is the third line down, first measure, the last beat. When you have the dotted rhythm and a triplet in the left hand, a lot of people will make the mistake is they'll play that 16th note with the last note in the left hand. That is incorrect. Well, it's like scratching your fingernails on a chalkboard or something to me. It's like, oh. That 16th note comes after the last triplet note in the left hand. It comes in between, so it's so make sure it's a short note and it comes after the A. Right? See, it comes after it, and then make sure you do that on all of these dotted rhythms. They come after the triplet. Don't play it with it. It's not a triplet. Triplet's in the left hand. So starting with the third line again, you're here. Bring out the right hand, that's where the melody is. Now on these triplets, I didn't talk about technique, all I'm doing is transferring weight. I'm just rolling from one note to another. I'm not really using the fingers, I'm just rolling. And in the left hand it's the same thing. At the third line down, I'm just rolling here. And the fourth line down, first measure in the left hand, if you don't want to put the thumb on the B flat, then you have to do a 5-3-2 there. You just decide how you want to do that. So the fourth line down. Now there, the fourth line down, the last measure on the B flats. I don't know what to tell you. You can try that. It's awkward, but I prefer the 5-3-1 on that one, if you can. The end of the first line on page 43, you're ending here, and the next line you got to come down here. If you can reach that, it's a little over an octave, then go ahead and reach it and connect it. And then 5-4-2. So you're here, and then the next one 5-4-2, and then 5-3-1, and then if you want. Otherwise, if you can't reach that, then you have to jump down and move. The pedal will help connect it, but try and make it as legato with the hands as you can. And then at the end of the second line, the left hand finally gets the melody. Here. Now if you wanted to use thumb on those, I don't recommend it. I would prefer to do a 1-2-1. Here on all of them. And then the end of the third line, you gotta come down an octave. I'd still use 1-2-1 on the A's. Next to the last line, last measure, second finger on the other A, and the last line it's 2-4. I like their fingering at the end. Yeah, that's good. So the last three lines here, on page 43, you're here. Anything here, just play the notes. Yeah. So work it all out carefully. As far as the dynamics goes and the phrasing and all, they don't give you much of any phrasing in here. It's mostly legato, and the dynamics, it's mostly soft. You get a little louder here and there. So start out soft at the beginning. Just soft, not too soft, just soft. Then the second line, you'll get up a little bit, just maybe up to a medium soft, just barely. And it's the triplets that's going to increase, because the left hand can't do anything, it's just holding a note down. Come down back to a soft. Now the right hand, the medium loud applies to the melody, which is now in the right hand. Keep the left hand as soft as it was here. The left hand stays down. So there's a big difference between the hands here. You're going to stay there. Page 41, we're going to go on up to probably about a loud, I don't know about loud, but you can actually come down a little bit and then go back up to medium loud. Here, stay here. Now come down, medium soft. See, it's the right hand, the A, that's now at medium soft, and everything else has to be super soft. This is the third line. Take some practice, because you're not accustomed to that. And you get even soft. See, they're telling you to get softer than you have a diminuendo there, the next to the last line. You're already soft. So on that diminuendo, I would suggest you actually end this very soft, not soft. Go all the way down to 2 P's, PP at the end instead of 1, so you can take your time getting softer. This is where you get soft. Then at the end you're very soft. At the end, and then that fermata at the end, you just hold on to that and listen to the sound as it dies away. When I do this with a metronome, I'm just going to double it, and it'll be 8 counts instead of 4. Then when you work out the dynamics and the fingering and all that, then you can add the pedal. It's legato pedal for the most part all the way through. I like to talk about the pedaling. So I'm going to push the notes down and then the pedal at the beginning. And I'm going to change the pedal. After I I play the notes each time. I'm a little questioning on the last line here. I have a rest in the right hand. I like to hear the rest. The pedal covers it up. So I'm tempted to change the pedal on the third beat. I mean, I'll pedal the third beat. I just want to change the pedal so I lose the F in the right hand. So it's here. And back to legato pedaling. Here I'm not too concerned about the rests, hearing the rests, because in the actual arrangement there are no rests. The triplets are going all the way through it. So I'm not at the second measure, the second line on here. I'm just leaving, I'm doing their pedaling here because the rest are, that's just an arrangement thing. I mean, it doesn't count. I don't know how to say it. I don't care about the rest here, other than lifting the hands up. There we go, and then hold it down to the end very softly, and at the end, when I get tired of hanging on to it, then I will release the keys first, keep the hands on them, just release them, and then slowly release the pedal and let the sound die away gently. I don't want to end it softly and then all of a sudden end the sound, because to me that's like an accent almost. No, I want it to die away gradually. If you're on an electronic piano and your pedal won't die away like that, then take the volume and turn it down slowly and do that way. I'm not going to do a play with me on this because it's just, I don't see the point. It's pretty simple rhythm wise and all that, as long as you remember to get the 16th note after the triplet note, not with it. And you should be fine.